name is Les Hedman, and I'm the CEO and founder of Helix Health and Wellness. And I'm joined today by John Deutsch, the lead of our development team with the Bridge Patient Portal. And we're going to talk a little bit about health and technology. John, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, you bet. So I'm the founder of Bridge Patient Portal and have a strong background in healthcare IT, electronic medical record software, things like that.
Outstanding. So John, we were talking a little bit before at breakfast about why we got into healthcare, and I think one of our main motivations is there's so many problems to solve. Where would you say that your passion in healthcare and IT is?
I mean, I think everyone looks at healthcare IT and they see so much opportunity in it. Of course, there's other challenges that come after that, but from our side, my background was in software development and IT. And obviously healthcare is probably one of the most slow to adopt technology of all industries, so there's a huge opportunity there.
Outstanding. One of the things that we hear a lot about these days are companies like Google or Microsoft or Samsung that are trying to make health technology more consumer driven with either devices or smartphones. What is Bridge Patient Portal in your company doing in support of making health technology more accessible?
Yeah, I mean, one of the challenges with being a giant company like Google or Samsung is healthcare at some point is generally all centered around your primary care physician one way or another. So if you don't have the buy-in from a primary care physician or the caregiver of any sort, it's very difficult to find a solution that's going to improve healthcare. So what we do is our software is actually sold to physician practices or hospitals, and these organizations, by adopting this, are actually the ones that are going to drive the technology forward, whereas other technologies, they might be able to work on a level of maybe a fitness tracking software or something that's very consumer that requires no caregiver to be involved in. But going to that next level, that's where you see the challenges with Google Health and Microsoft Health Vault and other applications that have tried in this market.
Outstanding. So we feel very strongly too that the relationship between your doctor is really a partnership between the patient and their physician. So all of the technology really is going to be driven by both, wouldn't you say, the consumer and the practitioner?
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to have that buy-in. Another, from a behavior aspect of a patient is people don't generally like to take care of their health. I mean, especially sick people. People who love fitness and are one thing, but that's not the majority of the population. So what you find is that if the physician's not bought in, if the physician's not saying, do this, a typical patient will not do that. And that's one of the challenges. That's why you need a solution that spans across both. Is usable for a patient, the patient likes to use it, but is also something that the physician is going to adopt.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Hopefully making everybody's life a little bit easier and bringing down the cost, really.
Yeah, technology obviously is done it in other industries. There's no reason why it can't work in healthcare, but there's a lot of other issues that happen in healthcare that make it much more difficult.
And just to touch on some of those issues, what do you think some of the biggest barriers between acceptance of technology are? Do you think it's from an institutional side with healthcare itself, with insurance, or do you think it's really patients understanding that they have lots of options to help them with technology and stay more healthy?
I mean, I think the entire system is not supportive of this change. Changes are happening now. Medicare is a giant, is a major driver of change in healthcare. What Medicare does, insurance companies typically follow. So they've got the capacity to make the biggest impact, and that's why we're starting to see a lot of these changes take place. They control the reimbursements, and healthcare follows the money. So I think that's what's going to really make this go to the next level. We're already seeing that take place in healthcare. People are getting tired of the current system, but that remains to be seen.
We also had a conversation regarding that now that the Affordable Care Act is requiring us all to have health care, it's still not really an enjoyable process or easy. So hopefully customer service will come into the conversation at some point for something that we all have to buy.
Right. I mean, the Affordable Care Act is just one aspect of the Affordable Care Act. There's a lot of other things in the Affordable Care Act that are very that are driving these other changes in healthcare IT. So, in general, I think it's some of the goals might be a little bit lofty, but there's already been pulling back on some of them, which is fine, and extension of deadlines, and it's part of the process.
Excellent. Well, John, in closing, what would you say on the horizon for healthcare and health technology is most exciting, in your opinion?
I think it's a good question. I mean, from a healthcare IT perspective, I think we're heading in the right direction, and that is it has so much capacity to make a major change in healthcare. Eventually, we'd love to see wearables and devices and all these things really interconnected with my doctor and my medical record and all these things. I mean, I think we're still a ways away from that, but I think we're heading in that direction. That's what I would love to see, of course. But I've worked in healthcare for 11 plus years, so I've seen things come and go, and I'm a bit more realistic, I think, with a lot of these goals. But
You know what? I think lofty goals aren't always a bad thing, especially when there are so many problems to solve. And I definitely concur that having that information accessible and actionable for both patients and doctors to follow up is a way to really sustain good health. Well, thank you very much, John. It was a pleasure to have you today and to get your perspective. And again, thank you all. Helix Health and Wellness, telehealth provider here in Illinois. And thank you.